flat for race 2 of the weekend in the first round of the 2014 Dunlop Series for V8 Supercars. Some of the stars of tomorrow on track and ready to run. 27-lap race, this one, and longer races this year, Greg Murphy. So hopefully we won't have the drama that we saw last year with the really short, sharp sprint races and some of the crazy driving and long safety car periods that went on. There's some time to get rolling in these ones now.
Yeah, it's a good change. It really is. I think giving these guys put a little bit more emphasis on that consistency and focusing on what they need to do. Certainly if you make it through to the main game, the race is obviously being a lot longer. So, as you say, it takes away the long safety car period. Some of the races become pretty short. So I like this concept, and it brings it more into line with what we see with the V8 Supercars on a regular basis.
Just reminding you of the grid, Ash Walsh starts on pole, runner-up in last year's Dunlop Series. Cam Waters alongside in the car that's run by Ford Performance Racing. It's got NZ sponsorship on it. It's an ex-Chaz Mostert car. Paul Dumbrell is third on the grid. He's running this series this year to stay sharp for the Enduro Cup, where he'll team up again with Jamie Whincup. He won this title back in 2002, 12 years ago.
It's a bit of a comeback for him, isn't it? He's the great, he's a fantastic baseline in there for some of these other blokes. Paul's got a lot of experience, done some great things in the sport, and here he is back in the development series. As you say, keep race fit, keep the miles up for when he has to get back to it for the Enduros later on in the year.
He's driving with Eggleston Motorsport. They've got a connection to 888 Race Engineering. It's the ex-Casey Stoner car that was the Red Bull 27 car last year. It's an ex-Bathurst winning car. There's Aaron McGill, most experienced man in the field in one of the ex-Kelly Racing Commodores. So 29 cars for this final race. 150 points to the winner of each race in the Dunlop Series for 2014. 300 points maximum. Just the same as it is for the V8 Supercars Championship. But remember, it's still a round format. So most points wins the round. There's just the one podium for each weekend. Green flag at the back. We're good to go. 27 laps. The Dunlop Series on the streets of Adelaide. Ash Walsh to the left, Cam Waters to the right. They were 1-2 in the race yesterday. They've 1-2 on the grid this time around. And it's tight off the start. Pretty even jump. Dumbrell and Taz Douglas. Very even.
Waters has got a bit of a jump here. This time they swap it around, both from the inside. Yesterday, Walsh got the jump. This time around, there's a spin in the background, I think. We saw going the wrong way.
Josh Hunter, car number 11. No one hit him on the way through.
Luckily, everyone managed to avoid that, but
Waters to the lead. Heimgartner out wide in the fight. It's easy car. Car in the wall in the background. As they managed to get going.
Yeah, file through turn 4, but Cam Waters, great start. This is going to be the challenge for the young guy. Great opportunity this year in this car to prove his worth, and so far he hasn't disappointed, but now he leads for the first time.
Paul Morris down the inside on Andre Heimgartner. Those two have shared cars in New Zealand, so they should look after one another. Turn 8, first time through.
I don't think it works like that, mate. They won't be looking after each other. It's all each man for himself out there. Walsh looking aggressive, down into 9 under brakes. Waters doesn't. Well, he gives him a little bit of room, but he didn't get in. And all pushed away by Walsh there. Held his line. Oh, Walsh sideways off the curb, very close to the wall. And Paul Dumbrell watching on. Douglas 4th.
Andrew Jones next. Abam Commodore. Here's Morris again. Chris Pitt is his next target. Then Gary Jacobson, then Heimgartner. He's driving the car that won the series last year in the hands of Dale Wood, ex-Will Davison FPR car, but it's a current FPR car with Cam Waters at the helm that leads the way, the former Australian Formula 4 champ. He won the first season of the Shannon Supercar Showdown as this big field streams on through.
Chief Emery, a good start. He was off the back after doing quite a bit of damage to the back of his Commodore in qualifying. He's made his way through a few guys. They stream back through turn 4, turn 5. Waters looking comfortable at this stage early on, though. Using every bit of road. Paul Dumbrell onto the back straight, heading up to the very fast turn 8. He's got some speed. Had to work his way through yesterday. Great shots there
This is a move. This is actually, that's another Swede. That Pacific Hoist White Commodore is Frederick Lestrup, who is on debut. So Robert Darwood, obviously in the Volvo in the main championship. We've got a Swede in the Dunlop series as well. It's going international. This is a good fight too. Marcus Sukanovic in that blue Ford trying to get by Jordan Ormsby, one of the locals who pretty much is busy this weekend, not just driving Dunlop series. His company provides pretty much every golf buggy that's in this facility. There's a lot of them.
It's a way to get around this precinct, there's no doubt about it. A mirror on the right-hand side. The NZ Falcon just gone, disintegrated. Since he got a bit close to the wall, I'd say at the exit of 11 or 12 there. These three, we see the replay.
Look in the background. There's Josh Hunter going around.
How lucky was he that Zukanovic didn't.
Jim Pollicina just manages to avoid in that white number 51 Ford, and then this was the car that I saw in the background that ran wide.
It's Heimgartner.
Morgan Haber.
Morgan Haber in the defence.
Did get going again, but lost plenty of time. Sits in 23rd place at the moment. Back to the front, Cam Waters leads the way. Young gun from Mildura is based in Melbourne now. Top three moving away. There's Taz Douglas, the silver sponsorless Ford. Did a great job with James Moffat in the Norton Nissan of the Enduros last year. This is Andre Heimgartner, Finance Easy Ford. We saw him in the Dunlop series last year, but he's moved to Matthew White's team for this year. Not our Matthew White, the other Matthew White.
Very popular.
Which one?
Matthew White's.
Oh, right. They're everywhere, aren't they?
They are everywhere.
Hey, Dumbrell's just set the fastest second sector Murph. 1:23.36 that time through in the 88 Commodore. Big field of cars. Again, the Dunlop series is strong as it was last year. Dumbrell's just looking stronger today. Yesterday, he had to pick his way through the traffic and ran out of laps and ran out of time, but he looked stronger from the start earlier on in this one.
Yeah, there's no question he had the pace yesterday. Back a little bit further. Here we go. Oh, Cam Waters doesn't get any closer. No, it doesn't. So the camera got a bit of shrapnel thrown at it, but on he goes. Robbins racing. And he's doing a superb job out the front here. Not intimidated at all. And Tim, he's facing the wrong direction. Where are we? It looks like turn,
I guess
4 or 5 there.
Yep, the run to turn 5.
A little bit awkward. But he will get going again and will continue on.
That's one of the ex-Gary Rogers Motorsport Fujitsu cars. Aaron Tebb in his second year in the Dunlop series. Left front damage on another of the plain white Commodores. Here's Dumbrell, third spot, putting the pressure on Ash Walsh in this fight for second. Taz Douglas runs in fourth and Andrew Jones just behind. So 4 laps down, we've settled very much into a rhythm. But it's Cam Waters, the young gun from FPR, who leads the way. Race to round 1 of the Dunlop series on the streets of Adelaide. Well, the Dunlop series is underway on the streets of Adelaide. It is the opening round of 2014, and just like their big brother V8 supercars, they're not afraid to have a go. This is Morgan Haber, the young Queenslander, who has found the tyre bundle at turn 1, and that's what happens when you argue with it.
He's not the first one to do that this weekend. A lot of front splitters being damaged. And here we go. Aaron Russell, replay, just getting a little bit too wide under the braking zone into the final turn and loses a number of positions. But Cam Waters still doing a sensational job up front. 22.5 for him and 22.5 for Walsh. Dumbrell faster that lap at 22.3. And that is a new record for the class. So 22.3 for Paul Dumbrell. The pressure right on Walsh.
This is Aaron Russell
Trying to recover from that little misfortune.
That's Jay Vernick on the inside of Frederick Lestrup.
Nicely done.
I knew there was contact
coming.
Yeah, it was coming somewhere. There it is. Vernick goes on through. Local South Australia. Aaron Russell off again.
So he may have hurt a tyre or something in that off earlier, potentially, but or just getting seriously frustrated with making that mistake.
Yeah, this is one of the ex-Jim Beam Ford, Stephen Johnson's old car. 888 chassis.
Another very good car in the field.
Jimmy Hewitt, engineering Kiwi, who's been around V8s for many times over the years. trying to just get himself back up to rhythm and get rolling again. So he's dropped from on the fringe of the top 10 to just staying inside the top 20. This is one of the ex-Jack Daniels Racing Kelly cars, the 46 car. It's been purchased along with its sister car by the Adelaide-based THR team that are looking after it. Aaron McGill in one of their older cars from the Kelly team behind. Here he is, car 75. Feels like that's how many years he's been in this series. He's been in it since it began.
It's a pretty good effort to stay in there. Loves, obviously, doing the laps. Loves the racing. Not there to, you know, try and impress, just enjoy driving these supercars.
And Jordan Ormsby here in this 46 Commodore. He's a brave man. He got married recently and he let Jack Perkins MC his wedding.
That is brave.
Very brave.
If you know Jack Perkins, if he's got any dirt on you, you know it's going to come out. And at the wedding, I don't know if that's where you want it to come out. But
no.
anyway.
Top three drivers we're looking at here have all broken the lap record. They've all done 122.3s. And then the class of the field.
And Walsh, again, looks like he's going to reduce that number again, 48.9 to the second sector. A little bit faster that time than both Waters and Dumbrell. Dumbrell just dropping back ever so slightly. Battle goes on. Jeff Emery looking down the inside here. He's trying to recover, as say, from the low starting position. Got Zukanovic behind him, Lestrop just ahead. And that is also Craig Lowndes, 888 Commodore.
And Marcus Zukanovic behind him. The ex-David Reynolds Bottle forward from a couple of years ago, which we saw Christian Lindblom drive.
Emery's looking again. He's going to be contact. Oh, Lestrop, very well done.
An 0-2 for our South Australian viewers. Switch to 7, mate, now to keep watching the action for this pretty interesting Dunlop Series race on the streets of Adelaide at the Clipsal 500. Of Adelaide to our New South Wales and Victorian viewers. You join us at a great time because the Dunlop Series is really rolling. This is the second race in the opening round. Let's have a look at the highlights of what's happened so far. Ash Walsh to the left of screen on pole position. One race won yesterday, but it was young Cam Waters in the NZ4 that got the best jump. Plenty of action in this first lap. Morgan Haber ended up in the fence, did get going again. Waters left behind one of the passenger mirrors. Aaron Tebb was doing his best three-point turn. Aaron Russell has been off the road. There's always lots of action in this, the development category for V8 supercars. It's a major part of the support act at this Clipsal 500. It is Cam Waters who leads the way. Ash Walsh sits second. Former Bathurst winner Paul Dumbrell, back in the category this weekend, sits in third. And this is Andrew Jones, Greg Murphy, Advan Commodore, former series champion. And like Dumbrell, he's doing this series to keep himself busy, to keep himself sharp, because he'll join Jason Bright for Team BOC for the endurance races later in the year.
Yeah, it's a huge demand, obviously, to try and keep up, you know, with the driving and keep sharp for those really, really important races. You know, driving with guys who are in the championship, you know, a lot of responsibility. So to keep sharp, keep fit is really, really important. And you see the top three guys have just been trading fastest lap after fastest lap. Ash Walsh currently has been able to slip a couple of tenths from the fastest lap yesterday in a 22.2, which is fantastic speed.
Frederick Lestrop locked the brake, and he wanted to not make sure that he took Zukanovic with him, so he managed to avoid the back of the Ford. This is one of the ex-Fujitsu Gary Rogers Commodores. The last one of the old generation of car. This is another of them, Josh Hunter with a right front puncture. He was a car that we saw spun at the first chicane on the opening lap. So young gun, who's actually the grandson of former sprint car superstar Gary Rush, is in the lane, just his second year in the Dunlop Series, but unfortunately he's got a drama. That's one of the R-Sport engineering run cars. This is a good fight. Chris Bether, Ice Break Coffee Commodore from Brad Jones Racing. We saw him drive the Enduros last year and do a really nice job with David Wall. There's Andre Heimgartner, Paul Morris. This is Jack LeBrock, Dunlop Series debut for the former Formula Ford champ, who's part of the Erebus Academy program, bringing up young drivers. They've got Adam Marjoram in the Utes, and Jack's having his first run in a V8 this weekend. He's been in Formula 3, Formula 4, Australian GT. He's done a lot of good stuff. And Todd Hazelwood just behind him too. This is the car that George Medicki drove last year. He is Ash Walsh's teammate at Matt Stone Racing. So some new names and faces to our Dunlop Series viewers who may have followed this category for the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's great to see Jack LeBrock out there. You know, he's getting a lot of opportunities and doing a good job with all of them. This is new for him, though, in the development series, and the opportunity for him to do this is fantastic. So we expect big things from him. He's been doing some fantastic stuff in other classes.
Chris Bither here, 7th. Gary Jacobson behind in position 8. Jacobson is a young gun from Shepparton who's moved teams in the off-season to join the Eggleston team. They're running 3 cars, all 888 chassis. Andre Heimgartner next in that Finance Easy Ford, and Paul Morris, he rounds out the top 10 as it sits, but it's still Cam Waters out in front. He and Walsh have just been able to get away from Paul Dumbrell.
And those two are still trading those times. Definitely the fastest 2 cars on the track, but Waters impressive. Being able to focus on the lead and do the job he's doing. A 1 second gap he has back to Ash Walsh right now, but Walsh will not give up. He will push and push. Here he is then, but spread forward. Using all the road. Paul Dumbrell, as I say, just dropped off a little bit, Aaron. Has struggled to maintain the speed that he had a little bit earlier. He used up a little bit of those tyres. Jim Policina running off the road there, 11. Trail of gravel coming out the back from the gravel track. This is good pressure. This is really good training for young guys. You know, putting them in these situations where they have to push, they have to manage the tyre, look after everything, not make mistakes, and people take note of this. Here we see the replay here of Jim Policina just a little bit late. He does get into the tyres, only just.
Not the first, won't be the last. So Cam Waters leads away. That time of 22.59. Walsh a 122.52 and Dumbrell 122.58. This is really good, tough stuff between these top 3 runners. Cam Waters is leading the way. He's never won a round of the Dunlop Series. This could be the one to be the breakthrough, and this could set up the championship challenge. Beautiful.
Look at these things bouncing over the bumps here around the Clipsal Street Circuit.
Cam Waters has the lead. Lap 13. Half race distance in this deciding race of the weekend. We'll come back in more with just a sec. It's hard to know where to look in the Dunlop Series because the fights in this category are up and down the field. Out front, Cam Waters still leads the way from Ash Walsh. We're looking at the fight for 7th place here. Chris Bither, the former V8U champ in the Icebreak Coffee Commodore. Gary Jacobson is next in the queue. Then it's Andre Heimgartner. Paul Morris rounds out the top 10, but it's really settled into a rhythm here. Everyone now is managing their car over a run and no safety car periods. It's a long run now. They get to learn. Some of these guys didn't get much of a shot last year because we had that many red flags and safety cars and shortened races. They never really got a good run at things, but with these longer race formats this year, they get to adjust cars over race distances as the fuel burns down, as the tyre grip goes away. They can make some onboard adjustments and learn what's going to go on over the course of 27 laps.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit more beneficial for sure. And as I said before, the challenge of being able to stay consistent and know when to push, know when to conserve, all those kinds of things really comes into play. It's impressive to see Gary Jacobson here. He's doing a really good job. Chris Bither, very experienced in this class. They're having a good battle. And Heimgartner just behind, who's doing the double duties, doing the Super Tours in New Zealand, doing a lot of miles. He has been really busy in the last few years, gaining as much experience as possible. Paul Morris has been mentoring him a fair bit as well, giving him as much help as he can possibly give.
And he's also signed Murph a driver development deal with Dick Johnson Racing for the next couple of years. He won't be in the car for the Enduros. They've already got their pilots sorted, but he's a very handy backstop if they need one, or for the future down the track with that team.
And it's good to see, you know, people giving other guys the opportunity, giving young guys the opportunity. And as you can see, Andre is really coming on. He's showing some really, really good skills. And he has matured in the last few years, there's no question. just the way he thinks, just the way he looks sort of at the bigger picture of making sure you get to the finish. And he's been very competitive in New Zealand as well.
I know a lot of our fans want to know what you're up to. You're back with James Courtney for the Holden Racing team at the Enduros. You're racing in New Zealand in the V8 Super Tours. What else is on the Perth menu for 2014?
Yeah, more of the same, Noons. Looking forward to spending a little bit more time in the supercar and the number 22 HRT car. Keep doing the New Zealand stuff. For me, that's my time behind the wheel and mileage. That's so important. And hopefully, spend a bit of time with you, mate. I miss you when I'm not here.
Oh, it's okay. I'll pay you for that. So, this is a really good fight, though, because you've got Morris, who's been around, done it all, seen it all, been involved in pretty much all of it.
Just about everything.
And a couple of young guys up in front here who, if they can use him as a reference, that's a good start. They've got Dumbrell in there as a reference.
Jay Verdon, he's gone in deep.
Emery was deep too.
Emery was deep, and I think that just made Jay go that little bit more, and it was too much because Emery almost overshot too. So recovered there, but there's our race leader. Cam Waters doing a superb job, still punching out those lap times. And Ash Walsh, he, as I said before, will not give up. He's used every bit of road there. Just clipped the curb on the inside at turn 8.
And you've got to remember too, Murph, that yesterday the results were around the other way with Walsh the winner, Waters in second.
And they started from the other side of the grid.
Exactly.
Each other as
Exactly.
well. So.
And the other point too is that they'll be tight on points for the weekend, but remember race 2 is the tiebreaker. So the result of race 2 is the one that decides the round win. Cam Waters has never finished on the podium in the Dunlop series before. This would be one heck of a way to get on the podium for the first time. This is Ryan Simpson, car 27 for Matthew White's team. He's been driving in the V8 touring cars, which is basically where the cars go that are too old to race in the Dunlop series. An ex-Craig Lowndes BF Falcon. He's on debut driving for Matthew White's team in this Parramatta Smash Repairs car. A bit different. He's a mid-20s guy, but he's come out and said, look, I'm not doing this to become a V8 supercar star in the main game. He doesn't have the aspiration. He's doing this because he can. He enjoys it. It's great fun. He's pretty competitive.
Doing a pretty good job, actually, to be honest. But back to this battle. Chris Pither still holding out. Gary Jacobson. Each of these guys just looking for someone to make the smallest of errors. And we're in 17 laps into this one. 27, the distance. And so far, no one seems to be looking at making a mistake. Pither in the BJR run car. Paul Forgy engineering him. Plenty of experience there and really good guidance as well to be able to assist in many ways, not just in the engineering of the car, but helping and teaching so many things. Car 48, bad sportsmanship flag for overuse curve at turn 2. You have to be very careful. We get 4 of them, and you make a trip to pit lane.
So he's on 3, one more, and yep, pit lane penalty will be on the menu for Jeff Emery. There's actually a few guys on 3 strikes, but the front runners, Paul Dumbrell's the only one to have set that off. Paul Morris off the road, and just bounces off the Nissan wall.
Here we go, first mistake by one of these guys. Paul Morris, probably not the one you expected to do that. Now he has to get his rhythm back going again. Didn't lose a spot, but clearly pushing hard.
And sits down.
First one to blink.
Yes, it's back in position number 10. Cam Waters hasn't blinked, though. He leads the way still with 9 laps left to complete. We're getting down to the closing stages in race 2 of the Dunlop series. We'll go to the line when we come back. Love this stuff. Slow motion action at the centre chicane. Cam Waters in the FPR Ford. The vibrations that just go through the car. All 4 Dunlops off the deck. And then it crashes back down.
And that's what these cars have to be built for, to take this kind of punishment lap after lap. 2 laps in a row. Waters and Walsh.
Marcus Zukanovic in the wall on the replay at turn 8.
Just got out of the groove.
Aaron Russell lucky to avoid. Listen to this. Another replay here. Jack LeBrock, Todd Hazelwood, Ryan Simpson. Bounces off the tyre bundle and gets going again. He's in the smash repair business in Parramatta, so it'll be fine. It'll buff out, no worries.
So 2 laps in a row. First and second place getters jump the curve down at turn 2, and that tells you they are pushing hard. They are seriously on it, and Walsh, lap traffic ahead. What's going to happen here? They're going to have to follow.
Oh, Dan Day is the young gun in front. He's on
Walsh is going to see the opportunity here.
Absolutely. That margin is now nothing, and Waters knows it. He's got 3 strikes, Cam Waters. He's made a mistake. He's locked the brake. He's got Walsh up the inside. Gives him one on the way through. They're both off the road. This is awesome for Paul Dumbrell.
I can't believe it. They both damaged their cars.
They're done. They're done. Right front's gone on Waters' car. Walsh is facing in the opposite direction, and Paul Dumbrell, the veteran, will drive past the pair of them and take the lead of the race.
Douglas will slot into second. Andrew Jones into third. These 2 guys, their race is done. The action was far from finished. Look at the damage on Ash Walsh's car too. This one's going to be looked into, Aaron.
Wouldn't mind sitting there having...
Absolutely bullshit.
Yeah, well, that's from onside. That sounded like Cam Waters. We apologise for that, but he's limping back to...
We're going to have a look at it.
Let's have a look again. Now, Waters was in deeper. He made a little mistake.
Oh, he locked in inside front, but Walsh used too much road. He really used too much road on the exit there. Cam really, I don't believe, did too much wrong there. Yes, he had to block down the inside. He was held up by lap traffic. Blocked the wheel. They just touched.
Waters had nowhere to go. He was out of road. He was up against the wall. Walsh was drifting as he tried to move.
So he just snags a break here. Runs a little bit wide. Walsh sees the opportunity, but it's a tight one, mate. Really tight. Very unfortunate. I don't think Walsh really tried to squeeze Waters into the wall, but they just touched at the wrong point, and it's ended in tears for both of them. Here's Cam Waters just getting back to pit lane now. He's got some steering damage for sure. Obviously a puncture. And race is over.
So that leaves Paul Dumbrell as the leader of the race. Taz Douglas second, Andrew Jones is third, and Pedersen next. And Walsh has managed to stay on the road and get going.
He's got some damage in the right rear.
It's right where the exhaust is too.
Yeah, but I think also some suspension stuff there. The way that thing was travelling into the guard. Yeah, it's not right, but he's going to try and continue on. Damaged rim as well. Really unfortunate. Hard to really point the finger too hard there.
Other way.
So don't think Ash Walsh was really trying to squeeze Cam Waters. He knew there was a concrete wall there was nowhere to go, and they just touched, unfortunately. Really disappointing. That didn't need to happen, and it really did start from the lap traffic holding these guys up. So Paul Dumbrell probably had just decided that he would be happy there with the third place. He's ended up leading the race. Taz Douglas moves into second spot. Andrew Jones and Pedersen, again, very lonely race for Ant. But doing a very good job in the motorsport car. Waters, that's it, she's all over. Heimgartner finally gets down the inside of Chris Pither into turn 1-2. These guys have been at it the whole race. He's managed to get down the inside with a few laps to go. Good move there by the young Kiwi. So the racing's far from over. Pither pushing, rubbing the back of the Finance Easy Falcon. Not happy about it, obviously.
And Murph, I've just had the calculator out. I've just been doing some numbers and some sums, and with that Walsh and Waters drama, Paul Dumbrell is on target to win the round. His first round back in the series since 2002. Jack LeBrock. Oh, that's done it. Left front's busted.
She's done.
Yep, he's out.
Took just a little bit too much of the apex at one. The tyre bundle there has done the damage, and his race is over. The damage. Cam Waters' car, he's out there trying to get some points.
He's 24th.
He's got steering damage, but he's going to try and get around to the finish.
Here's Walsh. He's positioned 6 at the moment, and he'd still finish on the podium. Taz Douglas.
There's a lot of damage to that right left rear.
Taz Douglas second in the race. He'd be second for the round. So final lap. An amazing race. It had a quiet period in the middle there, and then contact between the top two runners, and through it all,
it's a long race. It's a long race, and these guys are learning how they have to drive for a longer period of time. As we said before, changed format, 2 races at each round this year, not the 3 that we've normally been used to. And it changes the way you've got to drive these cars. It changes your mindset, and you've got to adapt. And a lot of these guys will learn that. But that was an unfortunate situation with the 2 leaders, and I feel sorry for both of them, actually.
But this is the man who will take the benefits. Paul Dumbrell for Eggleston Motorsport. They won with Jack Perkins last year. And Dumbrell in August 2002, the last round that he ran. There's Frederick Lestrip running slowly with a left rear puncture. August 2002 was a very long time ago. That was the last time Paul Dumbrell competed in and won the Dunlop Series round. He won the series that year. 12 years on, he's won a Bathurst. He's retired from full-time driving, but he's back in the Dunlop Series, and he picks up race 2 on the streets of Adelaide and clinches the opening round for 2014. Taz Douglas second, Andrew Jones third.
That's a pretty happy Paul Dumbrell. The team is pretty excited as well, and Lestrip's car there could not get to the finish. The rear tyre obviously destroyed on his car. Very happy team.
There's John Russell, who's engineering with that team this year. That's part of the 888 link. Martin Wagg to the right, Ben Eggleston. They're a pretty happy crew down there. They've put together a really consolidated effort in the off-season. They've really stepped it up. Their professionalism and presentation is top-notch. Well done, Taz Douglas, too. He's equalled his best ever Dunlop Series round finish. And third for the weekend, Ash Walsh will get to the podium. So still good news for his championship. For Cam Waters, though, he finishes 23rd. What could have been for the FPR driver.
Yeah, what could have been. I mean, there'll be some stone throwing, I'm pretty sure, between two teams there on that one, but it's a tough one. And I just feel that it was an unfortunate circumstance more than anything. Bit of a racing incident. Hard to really apportion too much blame. Initially, I thought that Walsh did just take too much road there, but it's a little bit of give and take, and it was just a sad outcome, unfortunately.
One for Jason Bargwana to look into. Is in that new role of driving standards observer for this year for V8 Supercars in both the championship and also the Dunlop Series. But PD is on the board, and this is all about getting ready for September when we go enduro racing at Sandown. So Dumbrell picks up the second race. Douglas, Jones and Pedersen. Nice job from the Kiwi. Gary Jacobson. So 3 of the Eggleston cars in the top 5 positions. Walsh managed to keep on going to 6th. Then Heimgartner, Pither. Lots of Kiwis in the Dunlop Series this year. Todd Hazelwood, well done. 9th for Matt Stone Racing, and Paul Morris rounds out the top 10. Id the Sargent Security Ford Falcon. But number 1 is what Paul Dumbrell was when he left this series. He's number 1 when he comes back.
It's been a long time between drinks in that respect.
I was there at Mellar in 2002. It was a long time ago. Taz Douglas pulls in. Great job for Image Racing and Terry Wyhoon in that ex-Stone Brothers Ford.
And Ash Walsh makes his way down to take up the 3rd spot. Probably didn't see that or think that that's where he was going to be.
Andrew Jones, 3rd in the race, but not 3rd in the race back to the lane.
Doesn't look like it was too much hard work for PD.
No, he's a fit man. More used to wearing a business suit these days than a race suit, but when he gets behind the wheel, he's got a pretty good strike weight with the Red Bull team, but he's back and he's a winner, Rihanna.
Paul Dumbrell, can you believe it? Come out of retirement, win yourself a Bathurst, and now you're winning in the Dunlop Series.
Hey, I would have liked to probably win fair and square, to be honest. So we were struggling a little bit there with pace, but we had a brake problem there towards the end. So I just, obviously conserve it towards the end, and guys come on the radio and said the leaders have crashed. So, hey, it's like a Stephen Bradbury. So
This retirement thing certainly sits well with you. Good luck for the rest of the year.
No, thank you. Cheers.
He's certainly retired from full-time V8 Supercars driving, but he's still on in the Enduros. Let's have a look at the highlights of race 2, round 1 of the Dunlop Series. And the 4th corner was one that Morgan Haber won't forget in a while. He tasted the tyre bundle. Cam Waters was pushing hard. Aaron Russell ended up off the road a couple of times. This was the next go at turn 4.
A little bit deep into 4 that time.
Frederick Lestrip, the Swede, on debut. He had dramas with the tyre. Josh Hunter did as well. Jim Potosina.
There was a fair bit of action through this race, Aaron.
Yeah, just a little.
Cam Waters looked like he was in control for a lot of that race. Jay Verdnick Jeff Emery down at turn 9, both going very deep. Oh, Zukanovic just touched the wall through 8. And this was the moment of the race. The 2 leaders, first and second. Walsh in the fence, Waters with damage.
And Paul Dumbrell was the man who sailed on through to take the race and the round. 279 points for his weekend's work. He leads the series. 7 rounds again in 2014, 1 complete, 6 more to come. And here's how in the Dunlop series on the streets of Adelaide, it sets up a really exciting 2014 season. It's one that really delivers. Looking forward to seeing the blend of young drivers and the enduro drivers that are keeping busy to get their miles up before we go to Sandown, Bathurst and the Gold Coast later on the year. Did you enjoy that one? I did.
I think the action's going to continue, mate. Looking forward to the rest of the season. There's going to be some excitement out there. These young guys, they are on it. They're trying to prove some stuff. And some of the old boys, Paul Dumbrell, he's still showing them how to do it as well.
Queensland viewers, switch to 7, mate, to continue watching all the action from the streets of Adelaide at the Clipsal 500. There's Lucas Dumbrell, little brother of Paul. He's pretty happy too. South Australian viewers, switch to 7 to keep watching the Clipsal 500 action. Let's head to the podium for the Dunlop Series. Mark Beretta is standing by.
The first podium of the year for the Dunlop Series, and would you please congratulate our round 1 winning drivers. In first place for Eggleston Motorsport, Paul Dumbrell. In second place for Image Racing, Taz Douglas. And our third place driver for Infant's Friend Team, Ash Walsh. Making the presentation of the third place trophy is Scott Jennings, Group General Manager, Official V8 Supercars Driving Experience. Presenting to second place is Andrew Luxton, Head of Marketing from United Petroleum. And making the presentation of the first place trophy is Kevin Fitzsimmons, V8 Supercars Operations Manager for our major sponsor, Dunlop. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2014 V8 Supercars Clipsal 500 Dunlop Series Round 1 winners.
Great job, Barrett. It's time for some champagne. The Dunlop Series is off and running for 2014, and it's an old favourite, Paul Dumbrell, who picks up a race win and a round win. It's been a good day for the Red Bull team. Jamie Winkup's picked up a race win already on the streets of Adelaide. Nice job too for Taz Douglas and also Ash Walsh. Looking forward to seeing the Dunlop Series when it next joins us with the V8 Supercars Championship. Round 2 will be at Wington Motor Raceway in Country, Victoria. Keep an eye on your calendars and the V8 Supercar website for all the details. But great job for Paul Dumbrell. Bad luck to Cam Waters. He will be a challenger this year for Ford Performance Racing. A couple of the young guns coming to grief, but you never know. There's plenty of time left in this series. Run the countdown to race 2 of the V8 Supercars Championship of the Clipsal 500. The clock's ticking, the crowd's hanging round. A twilight race will be going right through, right towards sunset.
Race, repeat, eat, sleep, race, repeat, eat, sleep, race, repeat, eat, sleep, race, repeat.
Eat, sleep, race, repeat, eat, sleep, race, repeat, eat, sleep, race, repeat, eat, sleep, race, repeat.
Eat, sleep, race, repeat, eat, sleep, race, repeat, eat, sleep, race, repeat.